Hi, everyone. My name is Mary Bonnett, and I'm the author of The Adventures of Cleaver and Whizjam on the Isle of Oogle. And Cleaver and Whizjam is a fantasy adventure for middle grades, 3rd through 8th. It's a novel. Cleaver Wheaton is the shero. She loves her family, and she loves trees and freedom. And she loses them all at the hands of her new guardians, the Raldos. And while escaping and in search of her family, Cleaver crashes her propelled box kite onto the Isle of Oogle. And the isle has been taken over by the tyrant Raurudio, who is part man and part dead tree. And he's been transformed himself, and then he transformed every living being into a hideous creature to serve as his slave. And then Cleaver is called upon to free the isle with the help of some very unique isle companions, including her pet frog, Whizjam. A great fantasy adventure along the lines of my influences as a child, the Oz books, Alice in Wonderland, and Wind in the Willow, but with a contemporary twist. It's filled with humor and wild adventures and lessons on courage and bravery, and most importantly, I think, kindness and commitment to others. I'd like to thank Emily Thompson, my illustrator. I'd also like to thank the Society of Children's Books Writers and Illustrators for this opportunity to share with you and for helping me finish my first chapter. This is a porthole adventure, and I must have written at least 20 chapters and first chapters until I went to an SCWBI workshop last winter and presented a 10-page script to the workshop leader, and she said, "It's the trees," and it was the trees. So I was able to write that opening chapter, finish the book, and get it into print on Amazon.com. So thank you for that. I'd like to read you a passage to give you an idea of its style and fun and language. This is Cleaver, who has now landed on the Isle of Oogle. Her box kite crashed, and now she's looking for her frog. Leaf River looked nothing like wherever she was. For starters, the shoreline bubbled in irritable, murky gray water, as if it wanted to leave its own land but couldn't. A dense green fog blocked the view from the other side. All around her were trees, weird, strange, bizarre, give you the creeps looking trees. She wanted to hug each one. Oh, they looked miserable. Cleaver called out for help. Nothing. She called out for Whizjam. Nothing. She forged down a creepy forest path. The purple trees looked as rude as the Raldos. Were the trees watching? Listening? Both. A ghastly scene of troubled pines with their stripped bark, broken limbs, and snapped twigs appeared blind and tortured. Sudden darkness. Cleaver's hands disappeared in front of her face. She stood still, helpless to move in any direction. An orange flash erupted in the distance. A blotch of purple turquoise splashed at her feet. None of it made any sense. Whizjam? Royal blue lit up the void. Pumpkin orange lit up the path. Cleaver inched forward and stumbled into a clearing, slipping into a patch of sticky and stinky glue. She struggled to stand, trying her best to wipe off the mess, the goo from her hands and knees. I should go back and get myself, take the canoe and paddle to Leaf River. I can't save every tree. She looked at the trees and pleaded, "Oh, I'm sure you understand why I need to leave." Something stirred. Something was happening. The forest leaves moved in rapid succession, frantically waving one right after the other. Were they trying to communicate with her? Yes? No? Maybe? Where's Whizjam? Nothing. Not a leap, not a croak, not a ree-kee-kee-ko-wax. No frog in sight. Where was he? Whizjam, I need to go back and help Weedy and Dedia. But the thought of leaving her frog only drove her deeper into the forest. Lime rays sliced through the cold black thicket. She parted a red bush. No frog, just red hands from touching the red bush sticking to the purple goo. At the same time, following her tracks and going unnoticed, was a large creature casting a huge shadow. The shadow tiptoed. The shadow disappeared. The shadow played hide and seek. The shadow flipped rabbit ears above Cleaver's head. Oblivious, the girl carried on a conversation with the air. Whizjam, please be here. I promise never to yell at you again. The big shadow silently clapped. I'll catch you all the flies you want. The shadow danced a little jig. Whizjam, I'll get you the best lily pad in all of Leaf River. Just one hop. The shadow hopped. One leap. The shadow leaped. One ribbit. The shadow's mouth. A ribbit. Cleaver collapsed on a log. Her head hurt. Her knees hurt. Her heart hurt. She wanted to cry, but couldn't. The shadow sat down next to her. Cleaver didn't notice the shadow, or that it was wearing a yellow, blue, and red beanie with a twirling propeller, nor did she notice the purple slime covering her red keds. Despondent, Cleaver also failed to look up, as she called out, oh, has anyone seen a small green frog hopping through here? The shadow looked surprised and casually replied, why no, I haven't. Okay, thanks. Cleaver stood, walked 2 feet, whipped her body around and stuttered, Whizjam? The big shadow rose, slightly taller than Cleaver, looked itself up and down and said, I am too magnificent for words, aren't I? Thank you for listening, and thank you, SCWBI, for the opportunity of sharing and helping me finish my book. Have a great writing year, everyone, to your health and happiness.